their cult leaders and Ray and Obia men to know certain things. So he was also around me, drugging me, putting stuff in food and all these things, trying to get me into problem, putting stuff in food for me to have sexual urges. And at that time the neighbors were sending their daughters around, which was puzzling to me because I never normally saw them coming around. Not the little young ones that I posted on Facebook. Those are older ones going to high school actually. Yes, they were coming around, and it was puzzling me because I didn't understand what was really taking place, They had me under heavy illusions. Also, I would like to say I was watching readers, and I was watching this particular reader who is my divine counterpart and self-proclaimed Daddy saw. I was watching her, and she was calling names and calling the names of the persons that were attacking me or coming up against me. But his name didn't start to come out in the readings as yet. So he was the one I actually got to find out that he was the one who was always fighting against me coming together with my divine counterpart. They were sending illusion spells towards me and all these things, attacking me, cloaking themselves and attacking me, but they cloak themselves to look like her in spiritual realms and attacking me. And that was how they were able to get us to disconnect for a moment. But whatever, God put together, let no man put asunder. Yes. So when you see him come around bearing gifts and all these things, that is what he's trying to do, tie himself to me, so that he will block my divine counterpart and me coming into union. He was doing it for a long time and I didn't know. And you might hear me say I was spiritual from a little child and all these things, and say to yourself, how didn't he know that they were really up against him? The thing about it is, my friend, a bird in a cage will not know. If a bird has been in a cage for a long time and you open that cage, that bird will be so used to that cage that it won't even know that there is somewhere else that it can go except for that cage, because it gets so accustomed to being in that cage. And be mindful that that bird being in that cage, it is still able to fly, but it cannot fly to its natural flying altitude. I hope you get what I'm trying to say anyway. Yes, so my aunt, when she was going through her sickness and all these things, it started where she lost her toe, and then it was sugar. They were saying that she had sugar, but it was all spell work and all these things. She lost her toe, and actually the same thing that they did to her for her to lose her toe, they did the same thing to me, and I removed that energy. Oh, I knew who it was that unalived my aunt. I was a part of it, a major part of it. Was when I saw I saw a thing underneath I self-proclaimed Daddy Toe. And he said he went to a spiritualist, and the spiritualist told him that it was 18,000 that he had to pay to remove it because he would cripple. That was the energy that he threw towards her, going back towards him even though she passed. And it was when I came down after they were after me, after I went to the nurse and all these things, and I came back down here, that those things happened, where I saw that same thing came up underneath my toe, and I did what I had to do to remove it. I told him also what to do because I was helping him, not knowing that he was trying to destroy me, because my gifts were heightening, not at the height that it is now, but they were heightening, and I was speaking to my ancestors, which he was trying to block and all these things. They were telling me that he was doing covert shit and all, but I thought that it was just my imagination or whatever, because that is it. That is what they do. They just lie to you and all these things and do spell work so that you will think that whatever you are thinking, whatever you are receiving about them isn't true or isn't real, which is how they cloak themselves also. You will see them or see that someone is doing something, but you won't see exactly who it is because they cloak themselves as someone else in the spiritual realms. Yes, so when my aunt was going through her situation, I was trying to help her. I saw this man on Instagram who goes by the name of Dr. Chemo, and I was watching some of his videos and all these things, and I saw that he was actually someone who had a lot of knowledge on sicknesses and all these things, and he was also tapped in. Third eye was open and all these things, so I told my aunt that I would let her get into contact with him, and I also told self-proclaimed Daddy that I would let her speak to that man and also she was also going through water retention. Her body was swollen up, and yes, she was retaining water, so her body was started to just swollen up. She was getting big because it was water retention, and I made her speak to Dr. Kimo on the phone, and Dr. Kimo told her that she would have to go on eating strictly fruits alone and stop eating meat and all these things if she wants to get better. But it was already too late because the spell work and all that they were doing and the sickness that they were casting towards her already took over her system and all these things, so it was already too late. So she actually passed away, and I wasn't even around when she passed away. I think it was at the hospital I don't remember because I wasn't around when she passed away, but I got visions that she would go. And when it was time for the funeral and night and all these things, I went with the uncle who was here with me, who was sent in as an handler because they sent him in so that he would watch me and listen to me and report back to whoever. And Uncle Daddy also was going through karma because, as I said, I was praying and sending back negative energy, not knowing who I was sending it back to. I was just saying enemies, but actually they were my enemies, so it was going back. So he wasn't around for a long while. He sent him in. And yes, so as I said, we went to the night and the funeral and all these things, but when I went to the night and all this, before even the night, I went around Uncle Daddy and I was picking up on the energy that they were saying that I was the one who unalived her. And I tell you, bro, I tell you, sis, I cried. Because I was saying, like, how the fuck could they be saying that I did anything to her, you know? And there were even instances where I was there and I saw where they carried Obia men to her house. I was there, Obia men came to her house trying to heal her and said he healed her. Also, I picked up that Obia man was a part of their cult and he also attacked me. He gave me a ring which I thought was a guard ring, only to come to the understanding that that ring was only for Uncle Daddy to siphon my energy and use it as his, because he also got a ring. And I threw it away. It was when I started my first awakening started, when I was run by self-proclaimed martyr. I threw away that ring, you know, and another one came also. Another spiritualist came. But the first one who came, he was really like dealing with me, talking to me and all these things. You know, like he was trying to read up on me, but it was like he was blocked and all of these things. And the other one that came, he was, I was there the day that he came, and I picked up on the energy that he was even having intercourse with one of her daughter. I don't know if it was for to heal her or whatever agreements they made, but I picked up on that energy. I saw it with my own two eyes where they were locked up in a room and all these things. When that man came out, I was there watching this cartoon named Krishna, as I was tapped in, as I said. And when he came out, he saw me and he was looking at me, and I picked up on the energy that he saw something, that there was just something great about me. And he didn't say anything to me, I didn't say anything to him, he just stepped past. Yes. Also, when I just went back round to Uncle Daddy and I visited my aunt, I was telling her that I am a prophet and all these things and I can heal and all these things, but they were blocking whatever I could do. I prayed for her and all these things, which helped her to some extent, and also, as I said, she wanted to reveal unto me that whatever was taking place in my life was being done, which is also a reason why she was unalived. Yes. So I picked up on that energy also. And yes, so they were saying that I was the one who unalived her. I told her sis, I cried because I was saying to myself, and that had me going through another traumatic experience, because they started to deal with me fucked up also. On the day that it was her funeral, I was round by Uncle Daddy's house, where he stays now. I don't know if he's still there, but I was where he was, and I went over to my uncle, the one named Mark, to press my clothes, and my cousin was acting weird towards me and saying that the iron wasn't working and all these things, and I just said to myself, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to wear it just as it is. And I had black shoes, and I said, fuck it, I'm gonna wear a white shoes, because that was that was how I was when someone did me anything wrong or they treated me anyway. As I said, I was a cry person, so I would, it was a situation where I blamed myself whenever I was wronged by anyone, so that was what they were also using and saying that he's going crazy because I was revealing the truth and exposing them, Yes, and after the funeral I came back down. I was down here, and it was not long after that the handler that they sent in left here, and I picked up on his energy also that he had a lot of baggages, They are psychopaths, because I saw even instance where he had his phone and it wasn't working, and he even wanted to mash up the phone. They are psychopaths. I don't know. They are on drugs. They are psychopaths. They like to take out their trauma on people. Yes, so I picked up on his energy, and when he left some of his stuff. That man even wore my underwear. And just because he had one looking like mine, but his was old and mine was new, he wore my underwear. And when I told him that it was mine, he was denying it, and I was saying to him, remember, mine is new, because he was here when I bought it. When I said that, he couldn't even say anything. Now this man took off my underwear and gave it to me, like I should have washed it and wear it back. I burnt it up. Also, when he left some of his stuff here, and they faked one of the family members' funeral, faked one of the family members' death for me to go to the funeral so that they would do a ritual on me because they knew that I would expose them. I didn't go. I picked up on the energy, and readers that I was watching told me not to go in their messages. I didn't go. I told them that I was not going, and I did not go. Even the same cousin, that cousin that I said I went to for there, and he was the one who called me down here to on the job, and we were very close. He was the one who they said bought the poison. That was their story. I don't know how. I don't accept that story. They said my grandma's spouse sent him to buy poison. Bona to go, said he was going to bush and poison himself and blase blase. I don't believe that story anyway. But that was the case they gave. So I started to cut them off, and even before I started to cut them off one by one, as I picked up on energies, I started to cut them off. I started to cut them off one by one, and because of that, they came at me even more. So I would like to also say I picked up on energies where I got visions, and I saw that there was heavy incest in the family, because I have cousins who their dads are their daughter and son father. Yes, two persons, and they know themselves. The children look exactly like their father, because their father is their children's father, and they know it is true. They cannot deny it. I grew up with them, with one of them particularly, and that person, when the Obiaman came, the first Obiaman that came and gave me the gathering, he sent for that daughter when the child was in belly, because he did a ritual over her for her not to speak up. But anyway, that's not my business anyway. If they want to speak up, they speak up. I care shitless about them. That's their problem anyway. But that's the energy I picked up on. They were fucked by their parents, their fathers, and the kids that they have is their father's kids, because it's ritual. And also I picked up on one of my cousin, the son of Mark, who is now gay, because it's a ritual, because that nigga wasn't gay. That nigga had his girlfriend and all these things. He's young anyway, but it's a ritual. They did the same ritual over me and it never worked. But these are the things they do. It's ritual, my friend. They give up their children in many different ways. A sacrifice doesn't mean that they take your life. It's a ritual. They do these things for initiation in their covens. So that little young boy, innocent, was being turned to gay, and It was the same Obia man who picked up on that energy when the little youth came. He said the Obia man said he has nothing to do with no gay. You know. And it was later on I picked up on the energy that was the instance. Yes, my friend. So there are a lot of things that they do behind the scenes that they think that I don't know, but I do know. Because I haven't spoken upon them. That is why I don't judge anyone, because I know most of the time the persons that are gay, it was not their choice, but because of happenings that no one knows about, because of childhood trauma and all these things, and they suppress it and they use other things to escape. But I just want to give thanks to my ancestors, all the divine beings, of the greatest white light that brought me through the dark night of the soul, and now I am here healed, and I haven't suppressed anyone through my traumatic situation that I went through. I am happy that I am at peace, I am balanced, and I am pure in heart, mind, soul, and spirit. I am grateful for all that they have done for me and are about to do. I am grateful. This journey of healing isn't easy, especially when you are placed in families like these. Especially when, even if you are born in these families, because remember, my cousins, they're born in it. Their parents are actually their parents, but I was placed in this situation, you know. And these are the things that you call generational curses also, where one goes through all these things and suppress it, and they have children and they force it down on their children, and their children do the same. Yes, those are generational curses. Yes. So as I also mentioned about this pastor that was exposing his family also, that did some dirty deeds, you know. I don't know if this man still is a pastor who follows the Jesus road and all these things, but I don't judge anyone. All I know that Jesus is Satan. I don't care what anyone wants to say. What I know, because I know. So I don't know if he still is on that path or whatever, but he is awakened and he could see through the illusions, and he saw those things, and he was being sorted after by his family members also, and all these things, because he exposed a few things that went on in the community. And when I spoke to him on the phone, he told me that they fucked up my foot because I used to play football. He said I love football, and because of that they fucked up my foot. But he didn't say it in that manner, you know, but he said they messed up my foot, my feet. He said they placed my feet in alligator mouth. Yes. And he told me what to do to of that also. So he also told me that if he had a place to, let me stay with him, he would, and all these things. But every time that I had someone who would help me to get out of their hands and get out of the fuckery that they were causing me and throwing towards me, they would throw illusion towards me so that I would look at that person in a bad light, So that is it. That is it. They are really fucked up. And it was the other day when they came, that psychopath uncle Stanford Richard. He confessed. He said he gave me a football shoes and he's sorry he did, because from he gave me, I wasn't focused anymore on schoolwork and all these things, but that wasn't the case. He gave me the football shoes to fuck up my feet. Yes. But evil was no weight. And as I say, I just want to give thanks to my ancestors for all that they have done for me, for their guidance and protection. Peace, peace, peace to you all. Love, light, high vibration, and positive energy I send to you all. Peace, peace, peace.